Discover 7 miraculous truths of the Bible, revealed secrets that transform your faith forever. In the days when the judges ruled and the land of Israel was in turmoil under the oppressive hand of the Midianites, there lived a humble man named Gideon from the clan of Manasseh. The Israelites cried out to the Lord as dark clouds of despair hovered over the fields once filled with abundance, which now lay parched under the relentless raids of their enemies. Gideon, fearing for his family's survival, secretly threshed wheat in a winepress, hidden from the eyes of the Midianite marauders. Suddenly, a voice pierced the stillness. "Why are you hiding?" The angel of the Lord stood before him, unmistakably shining with divine authority. Gideon's heart raced as he recounted the calamities that had befallen Israel, the stories of victories that felt like distant echoes. "If the Lord is with us, why then has all this happened to us?" His voice trembled, laden with doubt. Yet the angel affirmed with unwavering resolve, "Go in this might of yours, for I am sending you to save Israel from Midian." "But how can I save Israel?" Gideon's protests rang forth. "My clan is the weakest, and I am the least in my father's house." The weight of insignificance pressed down upon him. Yet the angel spoke again, assuring him of divine backing. Desiring confirmation, Gideon entreated God for a sign, an act of faith that would soon lead to unfathomable revelations. He spread a fleece on the ground, beseeching the Lord to let the fleece be wet with dew while the surrounding ground remained dry. The morning light unveiled the miracle, and yet still doubt lingered. A second request echoed within his heart, demanding the opposite: a wet ground and a dry fleece. The Lord, in his mercy, granted the sign once more, demonstrating his patience. Days passed as Gideon, spurred by a growing conviction, gathered a multitude of 32,000 men, a seemingly mighty force against the Midianites. But God, recognizing the pride of man, challenged Gideon's expectations. "The people with you are too many," he declared, urging a drastic reduction. Gideon watched helplessly as his army dwindled to a mere 300 men, armed with nothing but trumpets and torches cloaked within jars. As twilight fell, dread loomed over Gideon and his soldiers. The sense of impending battle weighed heavily, yet a flicker of faith ignited in their hearts. As Gideon breathed a battle cry, the air erupted with the sound of trumpets and the radiant glow of torches blazed from the jars. The Midianites, engulfed in confusion, turned upon one another, and victory arose in a chaotic divine orchestration. In that moment, Gideon grasped the first of 7 transformative truths: that God alone secures victory, not might nor multitude. Standing amidst the bewilderment of triumph, his spirit swelled, nurtured from a man of doubt to a leader of faith. Yet the path ahead remained shrouded in mystery. What lay ahead for Israel as they sought to restore their land? And what deeper insights awaited Gideon as he grew into his divine purpose? Before we continue with this incredible biblical account, I want to make sure you don't miss any of these powerful scripture stories. Click the bell icon and select all notifications. These biblical narratives have transformed countless lives throughout history. If God's word through this story is blessing you, please like and share with someone who needs to hear about God's faithfulness today. Tell me in the comments which biblical story has most impacted your faith journey. I'm always amazed how God's word speaks to hearts across generations. Now let's continue with what the Lord did next. With renewed courage, Gideon realized that the unfathomable God who could achieve the impossible was guiding them. As Israel faced the unknown future, Gideon remained expectant, the lessons learned from the chaos shimmering like a torch in the darkness, waiting to be further revealed in the unfolding narrative of faith and liberation. When the smoke of victory began to clear, Gideon stood with his small band of warriors, surrounded by the remnants of the defeated Midianite camp. The air was thick with the odor of smoke and confusion, yet a new sense of purpose surged within Gideon's spirit. He turned to his men, their faces illuminated with hope and disbelief, and called out, "The Lord has delivered our enemies into our hands. Let us pursue those who have fled and secure our victory once and for all." As night fell, the sound of their footsteps echoed against the impatience of the earth. Gideon sent messengers throughout the land of Ephraim, proclaiming, "Come down against the Midianites and seize the waters before them as far as Bethbara and also the Jordan." Their hearts burned with zeal, and soon men from Ephraim joined the pursuit, uniting with the 300 to strengthen their resolve. Meanwhile, Gideon sought divine guidance. In the quiet hours before dawn, he knelt upon the ground, his heart laid bare before God. "What shall I do next?" he whispered into the silence, seeking clarity amid the chaos. And in that moment, the Lord spoke softly, "You will confront Zebah and Zalmunna, the kings of Midian. It is through you that I will show my glory." With renewed determination, Gideon addressed his men. "The time has come to confront the kings. We shall march to their camp, for the Lord has gone before us." With the cries of the faithful echoing in their hearts, they advanced, driven by the promise of divine intervention. As the sun rose, they found the enemy encamped in a valley, unaware of the approaching Israelite force. Gideon led with courage, proclaiming, "The battle belongs to the Lord." And as they descended, the Midianites awoke in disarray, swiftly caught in turmoil. Gideon and his men fought valiantly, and soon the kings of Midian were captured, bound by the very voices that had once trembled in doubt. Yet Gideon's heart was not without heaviness. He saw the wisdom of his Lord and remembered the instruction given to him earlier, an instinct that urged him to honor the people of God whom he led into battle. He turned to Zebah and Zalmunna, asking, "How did you kill my brothers, the men of my own family?" Their replies were cruel, revealing the heartless nature of the tyrants. The bitter truth softened Gideon's resolve, turning his anger back towards righteousness. Retrieving his sword, with righteous vengeance, he became the instrument of God's judgment. In that decisive moment, he understood the second incredible truth, that God empowers the weak to accomplish great deliverance. As the sun dipped beneath the horizon, victory was won, and peace returned to the land of Israel. The people gathered around Gideon, hearts swelling with gratitude. Yet the victory was more than a battle won. It was an awakening of a nation. They hailed Gideon as a ruler, yet he humbly insisted, "The Lord will reign over you." Yet as Israel entered this new season of hope, a shadow loomed on the horizon. A growing desire within their hearts began to reflect discontent. Gideon's leadership, though divinely appointed, was a choice laden with trials yet unknown. In the midst of this newly found peace, Gideon sensed that the journey was far from over. God's plans were unfolding like the petals of a flower yet to bloom, stirring curiosity and stirring unease. What shall come next in Israel's story? And how would Gideon's journey shape the very fabric of their identity? As the echoes of the past mingled with the promise of the future, a new mystery emerged. Could the cycle of faith and disbelief continue, or would the people finally embrace the everlasting covenant laid before them? The heart of God remained steadfast, ever seeking a people devoted to his purposes. And Gideon, now a ruler in Israel, discerned the weight of the mantle upon his shoulders. In the stillness of the night, he withdrew to a high place, seeking the face of the Lord. With the stars twinkling like covenant promises above him, he pondered the words spoken by the angel of the Lord long ago. "Go in this your might." Judges 6:14. The breath of God had breathed life into his frail heart, and he remembered how he had once whispered, "If the Lord is with us, why then has all this happened to us?" Judges 6:13. Upon returning to his people, Gideon called the elders of Israel, their faces a mixture of hope and uncertainty. "The Lord has delivered us, yet we must be vigilant. Our hearts must not stray from the covenant established by our forefathers." Yet even in that sacred gathering, a longing arose in the hearts of the people, an inclination toward a king like the nations around them. They spoke among themselves, contemplating the glory of earthly leaders, forgetting the somber truth of their history. "Give us a king," they murmured, "that we may be like the nations." The sound of their request echoed ominously, resounding in the ears of Gideon, who felt the pull of the desires of men. As he stood before them, a thought pierced his heart. "What shall I do for you, brothers?" he implored. "Is it not the Lord who fights for us? He has called us from the land of Midian to restore us. Should we not serve him with all our hearts, acknowledging his kingship?" Yet the desire for a crown overshadowed the assurance of divine protection. As they clamored for a sovereign, Gideon knew that the greatest threat lay not in the sword of Midian, but in the hearts of his own people turning away from the one true king. In that hour, a spirit of discernment fell upon him. He called forth a sacred assembly and offered a sacrifice unto the Lord. And as the smoke of the offering ascended, the presence of God enveloped the assembly, stirring their hearts with conviction. "If we remained faithful," Gideon proclaimed, "we shall see the hand of God transform our lives." But even as Gideon spoke, a troubling thought lingered. Could their hearts remain steadfast through the temptations of kingship? Would humility give way to arrogance? He recalled the words spoken through the prophet Samuel, "You shall be a servant." 1 Samuel 8:6. Days turned to weeks, and peace fell over the land. Yet within, the roots of discontent deepened. Gideon witnessed the flickering flame of faith wavering, like a candle caught in the wind. The people wept, calling for a king, longing for the security they believed a monarch would bring. Gideon silenced the tumult with a mighty voice. "The Lord your God is your king." However, amidst this turmoil, a deeper reality loomed. Zebah and Zalmunna were not the only enemies of Israel. There were unseen powers stirring, waiting for the faith of the people to wane. That night, as Gideon lay upon his bed, he wrestled with the weight of their desires. In the darkness, the Lord spoke again. "Do not be afraid, Gideon, for your fight is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the cosmic powers over this present darkness." Ephesians 6:12. With dawn's light, Gideon rose, compelled by a divine urgency. The cycle of faithlessness could not continue. He grasped the call to lead the people back to the heart of the covenant. "We shall gather our families and return unto the Lord. We shall renew our covenant and drive away the shadows," he cried out, gathering the remnant. In this fervor, God's sovereign plan began to unfurl, and Gideon sensed that the next chapter of Israel's story was about to be written. What would it take to keep their hearts bound to the ways of the Lord? Would they heed the call to repentance, or would the love of the world pull them once more into bondage? The answer awaited, hidden in the depths of their choices, a question echoing in eternity. In the days that followed, Gideon's words stirred both hearts and minds. The winds of discontent still whispered among the tribes of Israel. He gathered their families upon the hill of Moreh, a place marked by the history of their deliverance, and there he set forth a proclamation. "Hear, O Israel, the Lord your God is a jealous God, seeking to draw you back into his fold. Will you embark on this journey, or will you choose the path of earthly kingship that leads to ruin?" The people hesitated, their faces a canvas of conflicting emotions. Some looked into the distance, where the echoes of nations ruled by kings painted a picture of stability and prosperity. Others clutched their children, their spirits yearning for the protection the Almighty had always afforded them. The tension in the air was palpable as the choices of their hearts hovered like a cloud, darkened with doubt. As the sun dipped low and the shadows stretched across the valley, Gideon knelt before the assembly, his demeanor earnest and humble. "O Lord, give us a sign. Let your presence be evident among us, that we may know the path we are to take." In reverence, he lifted his voice, and the people joined, seeking the face of the Lord like a desperate child calls to a father. At that very moment, the heavens above stirred. A soft wind whispered through the grass, and the hearts of the weary began to flutter with an awareness of the divine. Suddenly, a flash of brilliant light engulfed the gathering, as a deep voice resonated from the heavens, declaring, "My people, I have heard your cries. I am with you still. Do not turn away to the charm of a king. I will appoint a ruler, but let him be a servant to my will." The earth trembled beneath their feet, and the people fell to their knees, their hearts swathed in the fear of the Almighty. "Truly, the Lord is among us," they exclaimed, the tone of reverence blending with trembling gratitude. Yet as they arose, Gideon sensed a weight heavier than before, a foreboding realization that Israel's battle was not yet over. The call of the nations was not merely a mortal threat. It intertwined with principalities and powers unseen, engaging the divine to spiritual warfare that reached heavenward. He kindled the flame of conviction in his heart. "We shall be a light unto the nations, showing them the glory of our God. Whom shall we send?" So, in a moment of divine unity, the people pledged, "We shall serve the Lord our God. In him alone we place our trust." With words echoing through valleys and mountaintops, the nation collectively turned their hearts back to their sovereign, casting away the desires for a king. That night, as Gideon lay upon the cool earth, the Lord spoke again. "Behold, I am raising up among you a deliverer, but the path shall be fraught with trials. For the hearts of men long for kings, but I long to reign from within." Gideon felt the tremors of destiny gripping his very soul, knowing the struggles to come as the people would meet every challenge ahead. But even in the shadows of uncertainty, a profound hope began to emerge. His eyes fluttered open as clarity lifted the veil, envisioning a future saturated with divine promise. "The time is near," he whispered to himself, eyes shut as the breath of God coursed through his spirit. "Through them the nations shall see my glory, but first they must be broken and made whole." The battle was not just for land or kingship, but for the souls of the people. Gideon sensed that his efforts to lead in faithfulness would ripple throughout generations, an echo of both struggle and salvation. "Lord, let me be a part of your redemptive plan," he breathed fervently. In that moment of surrender, a doorway opened into God's grand sovereignty. The threads of destiny intertwined with the fabric of their choosing, transforming their hearts to reflect the very essence of His grace. As dawn broke anew, Gideon was fortified by a holy resolve. They would venture forward. But essential truths lay hidden, waiting in the unfolding of what God had ordained. How would their faith withstand the trials ahead? Would they cling to the divine covenant, or would the allure of worldly kingship lead them to stumble? The answers remained veiled in the sacred journey yet to unfold, hidden promises waiting to awaken. As the dawn broke over the horizon, casting a golden hue upon the valley, Gideon gathered his leaders about him. The trembling hearts of the assembly were yet fresh in his spirit, and he commanded their attention. "Gather, O men of valor! The Lord has spoken, and we must not delay in our obedience." The leaders assembled, their brows furrowed with concern, for the whispers of doubt still lingered in the air. Gideon, one among them named Barak, spoke, "What shall we do when the Midianites descend upon us again? How shall we stand against a foe that outnumbers us as locusts?" "Fear not, for the Lord your God fights for you," Gideon responded firmly, his eyes reflecting the flame of divine assurance. "He has declared that we shall be a holy nation, and thus we must make preparations, both in heart and action." And it was that very day Gideon resolved to seek divine guidance further, to confirm that the path he walked was indeed the one paved by God's own hand. He commanded the leaders to bring forth their finest lambs, and at the evening's shadow he built an altar in the presence of the people, offering sacrifices in humble worship. As the fire leapt against the night sky, a sudden stillness enveloped the gathering. The very air thickened with expectation, and the ground trembled beneath them once more. Gideon fell upon his face, the flames illuminating his features, revealing the desperate need for divine confirmation as prayers rose up like incense. "Show us, O Lord, how we may honor you as our deliverer." The fire blazed anew, and from the midst of the flames came forth a cloud of light, so radiant that the assembly shielded their eyes. The voice of the Lord reverberated through the air, echoing the day of their deliverance from Egypt. "Have no fear, Gideon. I am your commander, and I shall go before you. Call the brave, the fearless, those whom I have chosen." As the echoes of God's assurance faded, Gideon lifted his face upwards, notes of disbelief mixed with awe dancing upon his lips. "But how shall we know it is you, O Lord? Reveal to us a sign that we may trust your word." With a heart both heavy and hopeful, he laid out a fleece upon the ground, praying for the supernatural touch of God's presence. "If you shall deliver Israel by my hand, then let the fleece be wet with dew while the ground remains dry." As the sun dawned once again, Gideon arose to find his plea answered. The fleece dripped with dew as the ground was dry, all as he had beseeched. And yet doubt cast its shadow anew, for Gideon, trembling in faith, cried out once more, "Do not be angry with me, O Lord, for I ask one more sign. Let the fleece now remain dry, while the dew covers the ground." The Lord, in his patience, answered Gideon yet again, for he understands our weaknesses. The following morning, the fleece was dry, and the ground glistened with the dew, a clear token of God's abiding presence among his people. With renewed strength and a heart tender to God's every whisper, Gideon called forth the soldiers, rallying the men of Israel with the call, "The Lord our God has shown himself. Let us prepare for battle." As the men gathered, a formation of faith emerged, testing their resolve and their commitment to believe. Swords shone in the morning light, and the promise of victory glimmered on the horizon. But in that moment of expectation, an inner turmoil stirred within Gideon's spirit. What if our faith falters? What if the armies before us are too great? Are we prepared for what lies ahead? Thoughts of the struggle yet unfolded brought a weight to his heart, knowing that battles tested more than swords. They tested faith. The unfolding journey was not merely an advance into battle, but an awakening of God's deeper purpose. The souls of the people hung in the balance. Gideon knelt once more, surrendering to the divine will with fervent prayer. "Lord, prepare us, equip us to stand not just as soldiers, but as vessels of your truth. Let our hearts reflect the very glory you seek to reveal in our world." Then, as the tension of anticipation thickened in the air, a voice emerged, resonating with solemn urgency. "The time is near when I shall reveal my sovereign plan, and through your obedience, nations shall witness the unfolding of my glory." The battle was only the beginning. The true warfare for Israel's heart was yet to come. The fire of faith would be kindled, and heaven would respond to every cry for deliverance. For within the tread of the journey stood the unfathomable promise, hidden in the shadows of their choices. Intertwining destinies likewise awaited their response. The sun rose in full splendor, illuminating the camp of Israel as Gideon prepared to address the gathered multitude. The air hummed with anticipation, the very ground trembling under the weight of unspoken fears and fervent hopes. Gideon stood at the forefront, surrounded by his leaders, men who had borne witness to the signs of God's deliverance and now were called to rally the people. "Men of Israel!" Gideon shouted, his voice rising above the murmurs. "The Lord has not brought us this far to forsake us now. Today we march not into battle alone, but with the mighty hand of the Lord at our back. He has declared our victory." Encouraged by Gideon's fervor, the people stirred, their faith rekindled, yet doubt lingered in the hearts of some. "What army can defeat the host of Midian?" came a voice from the rear, mingled with apprehension. Gideon's eyes searched the crowd, locking upon the men who spoke. "Do you not remember the signs? The dew upon the fleece and the dry ground? Our God is with us. He has validated his promise. His voice thundered with conviction, drawing the listeners closer. As hearts began to ignite with courage, the Lord spoke again, cutting through the clamor of uncertainty. Gideon, you have yet to understand the fullness of my plan. You will not fight with swords alone. Lord, Gideon inquired with hesitant reverence, how shall we conquer if our numbers dwindle? Take only those who are willing, the Lord responded, and test them by the waters. They shall be the ones who will stand. At the command of God, Gideon led the soldiers to the river. There he watched as each man drank. Some knelt, lapping the water like dogs, while others stood vigilant, cup in hand, vigilant as they drank. Let those who lap with their tongues like dogs be set aside, the Lord instructed, revealing that only 300 men remained, men of alertness, chosen by divine decree. A shiver coursed through Gideon as he surveyed the meager band, the daunting reality of the foe still looming vast and mighty. What shall we do against such a multitude, O Lord? Gideon's question hung heavy in the air, echoing in the hearts of those assembled. Fear not, the Lord said softly, for I have given the Midianites into your hands. Send forth the men and have them carry trumpets in their hands. This will be their weapon. With trembling resolve, Gideon returned to the camp and spoke to the frightened soldiers. Hear me, men of Israel. The Lord has chosen you as the remnant. We shall fight with trumpets and jars. Take your places in the valley and do as I command. Victory is secured by the hand of our God. The men, though perplexed, took up the trumpets, spirits alight with divine purpose. As they descended into the valley under the cloak of darkness, they encircled the Midianite camp, their hearts thundering alongside the cadence of their feet. At Gideon's command, they blew the trumpets, shattering the stillness of night with a resounding call to arms. The sound echoed through the darkness, reverberating like a trumpet of heaven. For the Lord and for Gideon, they cried, their voices uniting in heaven's chorus. The Midianites stirred in confusion, fear consuming them as they believed themselves surrounded. In the glow of torches and in the sound of trumpets, they turned upon one another, chaos erupting as the divine hand intervened in ways known only to God. And at that moment, a whisper of revelation coursed through Gideon's spirit. The battle was not merely against flesh and blood, but a manifestation of deeper warfare, God's sovereignty unmistakably unfurling. Indeed, Gideon breathed in awe. In our weakest moments, His strength is made perfect. The true transformation lies not in numbers, but in His mighty power. As the dust settled, Gideon realized that the narrative unfolding before him was woven with threads of divine intention, greater than earthly comprehension. What lay ahead would unfold the very nature of God's covenant with Israel, a new beginning steeped in the revelation of His grace and power. And as the echoes of victory resounded across the hills, a more profound mystery began to take form. The time was drawing near, and through their obedience, God would reveal His sovereign plan, a plan that would resonate through generations, beckoning all to witness the unfolding glory of His deliverance. And it came to pass, as the first light of dawn broke upon the land, a great silence settled over the valley, where the victory of the Lord rang clear. The sound of the trumpet had awakened the very heavens, and terror gripped the hearts of the Midianites. They raised their swords against one another, their cries of confusion rising like a dark cloud above the camp. Gideon stood upon the rocky precipice, clutching his trumpet, his spirit filled with wonder and fear alike. The Lord had moved in ways beyond the understanding of man. "What are these wonders, O Lord?" he whispered, awe-filled. As the remnants of the Midianite horde fell into disarray and fled like shadows before the sunrise, Gideon turned to his faithful remnant, their eyes bright with the thrill of divine deliverance. "Go now, pursue them!" Gideon's voice rang forth with renewed authority. "The Lord has given us the victory. Do not relent until every Midianite is turned to flight." And the 300 men rallied, emboldened by the miraculous works of God. They rushed after the fleeing foes, their hearts burning with zeal as they shouted praises to their God. The sound of their voices carried like a solitary burning flame through the mountains, igniting within their brethren who had remained in the camp, urging them to rise and fight alongside their brothers. As the Hebrew warriors pressed on, word spread throughout the tribes of Israel. The men of Ephraim, hearing of the defeat of the Midianites, took up their swords, swarming into the fray. They captured and cut off the heads of the princes of Midian, Oreb and Zeb, bringing back trophies of war that shimmered in the light of dawn. Gideon, amid the pursuit, encountered messengers who relayed their pleas for bread from the towns of Succoth and Penuel. "For they weary," they cried. "We are in need, and our brothers fight valiantly against the oppressors. Provide for us, that we may drink and be filled." But Gideon, his spirit aflame with divine justice, replied, "Shall I give bread when my own victory is yet in hand? You hesitate to aid the work of God. When the Lord delivers the princes into my hands, then shall I return to reward you." And so, ignited by the unfaltering commands of heaven, Gideon pressed onward until he beheld the banner of Midian placed at the feet of the greatness of God. Yet, within his heart, a seed of concern began to take root, a question lingering like the dawn mist upon the earth. "Lord," Gideon entreated fervently, "what of those who refuse to honor your deliverance? What of the ones who will not see your hand in our victory?" And the Lord answered, "My plan extends beyond this day, Gideon. The hearts of men will reveal true allegiances when faced with the truths of my love. This battle is merely the beginning." As Gideon saw the defeated Midianites scattered like the chaff upon the wind, he knew in his spirit that the Lord was preparing a path of revelation, a path revealing the true heart of Israel, a nation destined for greatness, but at an intersection where faith and obedience must lead. What lay ahead would demand of the people true surrender and trust in the one who had called them from bondage. As Israel emerged victorious from the valley of fear, God's unfolding revelation promised a covenant that would resound through the ages, a light for all nations, drawing forth hopes yet unfulfilled. For even in triumph, the sovereign plan of God was but a whisper of greater things to come. Battles not yet fought, hearts not yet aligned, waiting for the moment when Israel would fully embrace the fullness of his glory, revealing the depths of his sovereign will. And it came to pass, as the sun ascended over the horizon, casting its warm light upon the fatigued yet victorious faces of Gideon and his men, the Spirit of the Lord stirred within them, urging them forth. They marched relentlessly into the land of the Midianites, even as the cries of their fleeing enemies echoed in the valleys. Gideon, now resolute, bore a fierce hope within his breast. "O Lord," he prayed, casting his eyes heavenward, "let not our enemies escape this day. For in their defeat lies not just our victory, but the glory of your name." The 300 remained steadfast, knowing they fought not merely against flesh and blood, but against the very designs of darkness that had oppressed their people. It was then that Gideon came upon a rise, and in the distance he spotted the remnants of the Midianite army, banded together in despair, their encampment dwindling. With a heart emboldened by faith, Gideon rallied his men. "Behold, the enemy gathers!" he exclaimed, his voice strong and filled with divine urgency. "As the God of Israel is with us, let us strike fear into their hearts. The victory has been granted to us." With a mighty roar, they descended upon the encampment, their voices ringing with the praises of the Lord. Victory was not merely a hope or a distant dream. It became a living, breathing reality. And even in the face of their enemies, the outpouring of God's faithfulness delivered them. As the battle line drew taut, Gideon's heart was not for mere bloodshed, but for the deliverance of Israel into a place of rightful worship. For what does it profit a man, he mused, to win a battle yet lose the soul? In the midst of chaos, tides of surrender began to wash over the divided Midianite ranks. Some, witnessing the power of Israel's God, cast down their swords and fled, while others remained, paralyzed by fear and despair. Then came a messenger, running fiercely towards Gideon, breathless yet urgent. "Gideon, Lord of Israel," he cried, "they of Succoth and Peniel have spoken your name with scorn. They doubted your might, claiming you cannot conquer these hosts." Gideon clenched his fists, the gravity of betrayal weighing heavily upon him. "Shall we not offer grace to our brethren? Shall we in this hour, when the Lord moves mountains, allow doubt to hinder our steps?" Yet he recalled the words of the Lord, reminding him of the need for unity among the people of Israel. "Let it be," he declared, "that the hand of God will testify against their disbelief, and victory shall be our proof of his sovereignty." He commanded, "Let us move swiftly against them, that they may witness the truth. They have doubted the deliverance of God, and thus will they bear witness to his might." As Gideon pressed forward in pursuit of the remainder of the Midianite host, the vision of the Lord shimmered in his mind. It spoke of a land restored, of hearts awakened to the reality of divine grace, and of a people unified in the worship of the one true God. The echoes of the battle echoed abruptly in the hills, a symmetry of divine plans converging. With every step, Gideon felt the weight of a destiny unfolding before him, greater than any victory of the sword. For within these trials lay profound transformation, not merely for Israel's deliverance, but for the awakening of every heart to the call of covenant love. For there remained a whisper within him, a revelation yet to unfold, foreshadowing the weight of the task ahead. "What shall it take, Lord," he pondered inwardly, "for your people to trust in your divine providence?" Thus, as Gideon advanced further into the unfolding story, the Lord spoke once more. "Your path leads to greater truths, Gideon. For in the heart of this people I shall kindle a flame that will outlast all battles, a truth that no enemy can extinguish, a promise now ignited, reaching forth to all generations." And it came to pass that Gideon and his men continued their swift march, their feet pounding upon the earth like the fervent heart of a lion. For the Lord was with them, guiding their path as morning light pierced through the gathering clouds of despair that had enveloped Israel for so long. They moved with purpose, each man emboldened by the tales of deliverance manifesting before their eyes. As they approached the cities of Succoth and Penuel, Gideon's spirit was heavy with the betrayal of his brethren. "What wretchedness is this," he cried out in anguish, "that our own kin would turn from the mighty hand of the Lord?" His heart wrestled with the perplexity of their doubt, yet a resolve kindled within him, a fierce ambition for restoration, not just of land, but of hearts. "Let us show them the power of our God," he proclaimed, raising his sword in the air, shimmering in the light like an angelic beacon. For what greater testimony can there be than that of faith lived out in action? The men pressed on, their voices lifted in praises to the Most High. As they neared Succoth, Gideon saw the faces of the frightened people peering from behind their doors. "We come not in vengeance, but in victory, O inhabitants of Succoth," he called with boldness. "The Lord has delivered our enemies into our hands. Raise your eyes to him and know of his marvelous works." A murmur rippled through the crowd, laced with fear and uncertainty. "If the Midianites are as the grass of the earth, why should we trust this man who speaks of a God unseen?" shouted a voice from among them, unwilling to yield to the call of faith. In that moment, a silence fell, pregnant with expectancy, and Gideon felt the weight of their skepticism press upon him. But he remembered the words of the Lord. He understood that faith without works is dead. If the hand of the Lord gave us victory, how much more will He give us the ability to restore hope and unity among His people? With a heart ignited by the divine, he turned and led his men toward Penuel. At the gate of Penuel, another contingent of doubters stood firm against the divine promise unfolding before them. "You are not the Savior of Israel," they mocked. "Your boast in vain." But Gideon stood undeterred. "The Lord has gone before us. He has scattered our enemies as the dust of the earth. It is not by our might, but by His Spirit that we advance this day." And lo, the wind began to stir, and a great commotion arose, an echo of the Lord's command swirling around them. The ground trembled as Gideon raised his voice again. "Hear me, O children of Jacob! The God of Israel does not abandon His people. Will you not turn and see the salvation He offers?" The anger of the Lord ignited within him, yet tempered with goodness. "You shall taste the fruit of your choices, for whatever a man sows, so shall he reap." And with this, Gideon invoked a sign. "If you do not heed the call of your God, may you know my hand shall not protect you from what is to come." A solemn hush enveloped the crowd. Gideon's words struck deep. As he turned to his men, Gideon felt an assurance wash over him. Steps toward another battle were being waged in the spiritual realm. "Let us return to the Midianite host, for the Lord has paved the way for further victory." Thus, with renewed strength within them, they marched onward, ready to confront not just the remainder of their enemies, but the very doubt that hindered the hearts of their people. And as the sun dipped low upon the horizon, casting the world into golden hues, the Lord spoke unto Gideon once more. "Your coming trials shall unveil profound grace, for there are truths I have yet to reveal to my people. Prepare your heart, for the tide of despair shall turn into a wave of covenant promise, a harvest not of mere flesh, but of spirit and truth from ages past that will bind generations to come." As the sun set on the land of Israel, painted in hues of crimson and gold, the echoes of battle faded into quiet anticipation. In the heart of Gideon, a sense of fulfillment began to rise, born out of obedience and the revelation of God's mighty hand throughout the recent trials. Victory over the Midianites marked not merely a triumph of flesh, but a renewed covenant between God and His people. Transformation shimmered in the air, sweet as the harvest fields once again brimming with life. Gideon stood tall, his gaze sweeping over the gathered men and families who watched with eyes glistening. It was a multitude witnessing the power of the Almighty, fear receding as faith blossomed anew. "Israel," he called, reverberating across the hillside. "The Lord has vindicated His promises. He has delivered us from the hands of the oppressors, and our faith has risen upon the wings of His grace." An assembly of relief washed over the faces before him. Their hearts were lighter, infused with hope after countless seasons of despair. In that hallowed moment, Gideon understood. God had not only spared their lives from enemies, but was crafting a people who would wholeheartedly seek Him, a remnant bound together by love. As the gathering progressed, elders arose to present thanksgiving offerings, a tangible demonstration of their gratitude. "Let this not be just a day of remembrance," one elder proclaimed, "but an everlasting commitment to walk in the ways of the Lord." The people nodded, embracing a call to righteousness. Vows to forsake their earthly desires surged like a tide. Yet even in this rich moment of unity, Gideon sensed a cautious tension within himself. He withdrew for a brief aside, his heart laden with the gravity of the covenant. "But Lord," he murmured in profound reliance, "will they remain steadfast? Will they choose faith over longing?" the path ahead is paved with choices potent enough to shift destinies. At that moment, as he knelt on the cool earth, a palpable presence washed over him, answering Gideon's silent plea. "I have seen the hearts of my people. They shall wander no more. For I will send them reminders of my law written upon their hearts," the gentle voice assured him. "And in the days to come, they will turn to me in truth and spirit." With renewed purpose, Gideon returned to the assembly, his spirit alight with hope. "Fear not, people of God. The Lord who has brought us to this day will not abandon his promises. The road may yet rise ahead, strewn with challenges. But I declare to you that if we cling to his covenant, our generations will witness the unfurling of divine purpose." With fervor, the people responded, "We shall serve the Lord. His ways are our ways." Together they renewed their commitment, hearts converged as one, reverberating through valleys like a symphony of faith. Yet in the background, the echo of doubt still hummed among some, a whisper of longing for earthly kings. "Let us elect a king," came murmurs woven with the fear of the unknown. Gideon, sensing the shadows of temptation creeping into hearts, spoke with firmness and love. "Let us not forget the chains of oppression we have outgrown. Are we to turn our eyes toward the throne of man and forsake the hand that guides us?" The crowd pondered, each soul at a crossroads of commitment, choosing between earthly satisfaction and heavenly assurance. It was then that the Lord stirred within Gideon one final time, revealing the substance of truth, a promise both powerful and poignant. "Shall I not be your king?" Gideon raised his hands, urging, "Let the Lord reign supreme. He shall guide us through every valley, into every promise." Their voices raised in harmonized pleading, "Yes, Lord, you are our King." And so, as hope swirled into the atmosphere, Gideon felt the profound realization wash over him. Every generation henceforth would recount this moment. The longing for kingship would echo, but within the souls restored, there would beat the reminder of freedom, the resounding assurance that their true sovereign walked amongst them, leading them forth with grace. Victory held in their hands. Gideon and the nation of Israel began a new chapter, a tapestry woven with the richness of their shared journey, sealed by their faith in the God who had transformed their hearts, making them a glorious people heralding the story of his deliverance. And thus they would journey forward, called to reflect the light of his glory to the nations. For those willing to heed the call of promise and purpose, deep transformation awaited. In every decision, through the ebb and flow of doubt and trust, through faith and battle, they were destined to fulfill the covenant of their God. As the dawn broke anew, stretching over Israel, Gideon lifted his arm toward the horizon and declared, "Let this day be known as the day the Lord redeemed his people. We shall not falter, for he will fight for us." And indeed, the ages that followed saw the unfolding of divine promise, generations committed to walking the path of light, a legacy intertwined with the great truth: the Lord reigns eternally, and faith in him alone will transform the world. Now, dear friends, let us embrace this mighty narrative, this story of faith within our own lives. Join me. Subscribe immediately to explore more powerful biblical stories that will transform your understanding of God's goodness. Leave a like right now to help spread God's word through every algorithm until every ear is tuned into his truth. And remember to comment your thoughts below about how this story strengthens your faith journey. This is the moment to help spread biblical truth. Don't wait even one more second to share this powerful testimony with 5 friends who need to hear about his incredible love. Together, let us illuminate the world with the light of Christ.